Hi guys, and welcome to a coffee chat. I'm Dr. Boomer Brown with Doing Good at Work. We're going to continue our conversation today about the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. So far, we've talked about the model itself is learning to become more effective means that we're moving from we're very dependent upon others to where we become independent, working through some private skills to become independent, really dependent upon myself, and ultimately moving to the highest level of effectiveness, which is interdependence. This is when we have everyone involved in the process. It's us. Highly effective people have learned how to manage and move through this progression by using the 7 habits that Dr. Covey explained. So far we've talked about 3 habits. We've talked about being proactive, which is much more than taking just initiative. It's about knowing where you're going. And then habit 2 is beginning with the end in mind, very specific, knowing what your purpose, your mission, your roles, your goals, your values, and aiming everything you do, really focusing on moving this way. You see, lots of things concern us, okay? But there are areas where we have influence and where we can combine influence with what we are targeting ourselves moving toward. This will help us to sharpen our focus, and we can move from being dependent to interdependent. In order to do this, we learned last time that you have to put first things first. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. But for today, I want to talk about habit number 4. Habit number 4 is think, win. What do I mean by that? Think, win. That's a nice term. Can you really have everyone in every situation win? Can I win and you win and they win? That seems unrealistic, doesn't it? Well, it is very difficult to do. But what I'm going to teach you today is not just a technique. It's just not a skill. It's an attitude that we actually possess in our human nature that we can work toward. The tool that Dr. Covey introduces us to is this little box here where it says is when we cross these opportunities to win or to lose, we get combinations. And let me start by saying this. The obvious is when win goes with win, you get a win-win. But what happens if you lose, and they win? Is that a solution that you want to participate in? It's almost a self-defeating solution. Or over here, you have, moving from the left to right, I win and you lose. Is that a winning proposition? Maybe for me. But if we're going to move from where we're only looking at ourselves to where we're working with others, we have to look at this quadrant right here. See, this quadrant means that we both lose. It's a lose-lose situation. Maybe you've heard that. So there's a way, there's an attitude that we approach this and we look and we say, how can we create a win-win situation? Well, that's hard. It's difficult. You have to start using some of these skills, knowing what your goals are. And then as you're going to understand next time, you need to listen to people and understand what their goals are. When you start doing this together, you can start seeing yourself as what's most important to you, and the other person can express what's most important to them. It's looking at every situation carefully, cautiously, and trying to unpack it and understanding other people and listening and being confident and having the confidence to do that. You know, one of the diagrams that I like to draw is this. Here's a line, and I put me at this end, and I put you at this end. And we're trying to find the answer to a solution. The most common situation is I say, we need to do this, and I come out about right there. And you say, we need to do this, and you come out right there. This space right here, that's the gap. And oftentimes the gap is closed through compromise. And many times compromise means we both lose-lose, or somebody lose-wins, or somebody wins-loses. Compromise, there are no real winners in that. See, what Dr. Covey is trying to help us to do is to see that there is a third solution. It's just not me and you. There could potentially be a third solution here. And if I, in my proactive nature, beginning with the end in mind, keeping first things first, understand who I am and what I'm trying to do, I might be able to agree to go to that point knowing that I didn't lose, but I actually won. And you might be able to do the same thing going to that point, and you win, and we create a win-win situation. Yes, this can be done. Yes, it's difficult. But people who are highly effective know how to do this. Well, thanks for listening into a coffee chat this week. And if you come back next week, I'll give you a skill in habit number 5 that will help you work through the process of win-win. Remember, it's a combination of winning in the private and winning in the public that helps us to become highly effective. Thanks for joining me on a coffee chat this week. And as always, I look forward to seeing you next week on a coffee chat.